How Long Gone is here. I am Jason. That is Chris. What up? What up? Hootie hoo. How's it going, bro?
Hootie hoo. It's 19 degrees in money making Manhattan today. So it's
super cold, man. Super cold.
Super cold. It's not great. I've been able to go to the gym and run my errands as well as do some work, and I'm staying warm with my Benjamin Edgar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gloves.
Yeah.
You know, just so I can type while I walk.
I got a pair of those, but I think my hands are too big and strong for them. But it's cool that you can wear them. My wife has them too.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say you gave them to your wife because my hands are like a woman's, but that does feel like something you would say in Trump's America. After
50% chance either scenario went down. To be honest,
okay.
Neither of us is wrong. Yeah, it is tough. I'm kind of over here in LA where I'm like, do I open the windows and let a breeze in, or is it going to make it too, It's not easy. Just got out of the sauna. I'm sweating like a whore in church. Got some shorts on, drinking some hot coffee and some cold water. As Jonathan Ames would say, I'm changing my water out.
Changing the water.
And he's not talking about pee. Changing the water.
Yeah,
but and really quick before I forget, maybe you could use some of this over there in chilly East Coast. But I wanted to give a thank you to Mountain Hardwear and Aritzia for both donating some nice winter clothing for those in need over here. So shout out to them. If you work with the brand and you want to send me some clothes to make yourself feel better about yourself, I'll give you a shout out. Just send me a DM.
If you're Mountain Hardwear and you want to send me a jacket, I would accept that too.
Yeah.
Just if I didn't know.
Well,
if that was,
to be fair, they reached out earlier.
No, I'm kidding.
Pre-fires.
No, that's very nice of both.
And they just said, would I like some free clothes? And I got them all. But I donated most of it. I kept one. But, I donated a lot of them.
Okay, that's fair.
Mountain Hardwear would have wanted
nice
it that way, and every brand should as well. But, Chris, I'll make sure that you can pick out some stuff.
Don't they have enough clothes? Isn't that the whole thing?
Yeah, I think that is what I've seen. They need some more
once again,
items.
they need. You know what they need? They need cash. Is what they fucking need, and that's what people want to go and drop off their fucking junk. Write a check, okay? If you really care, write a check. Put your money where your fucking mouth is, and write a check.
Write a check and shut the fuck up on social media.
For God's sakes. It's been a tough day on the social media in social media because of Donald Trump's inauguration, which was kind of unbelievable. I didn't watch it live because I have a life, but I was kind of checking out clips of Carrie Underwood's filler and Lauren Sanchez's rock hard tits, and Zuckerberg looking at those rock hard tits, and it was really a murderer's row of bozos. We had both Paul brothers. Friend of the show, Theo Vaughn, Conor McGregor was in the house.
Just a who's who of political greats,
and not the Arnault family. And I think what people expect so much from anyone famous or rich. And again, they are only concerned with their interests. The Arnault family, I'm sure, don't agree with all of Trump's policies, but they want to have all of their calls answered and their biddings done by this administration, so they show up and
it's like when they got to go to the Fear of God fashion show.
Exactly.
They don't want to be there, but they know who butters their bread.
So it's an interesting.
They know who pans their chocolat, I should say. Sorry.
I feel like everybody knows that that's the deal, but still wants to be mad about it, which is a little silly to me. But it was a big day yesterday. People were big mad. Big mad.
I mean, there's a lot to be big mad about. I mean, I feel sort of embarrassed as an American, not because of Trump or whatever. Like, I think everyone is sort of they repressed that a little while ago, but more of just like how other countries must be looking at us when it's like, here's our presidential inauguration, the best of the best of the best, and it's like a drunken Billy Ray Cyrus who can't tune his guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Fetterman wearing his fucking Under Armour shorts.
Fuck Fetterman. Any of you bozos that liked him, that guy really gets me. I fucking hate him.
Jake Paul and Logan Paul in the Rotunda. There's a very such a tight guest list. Back when Obama was president, there'll be a couple stinkers in there, but like it's a room that everyone wanted to be in. And the Trump room is a room that some of our worst want to be in, and some of our best would be embarrassed to be in.
I would say that when Obama was inaugurated, there was probably past champagne, and when Trump was inaugurated, there was past monster. Is kind of the way I would look at it. There was a lot of Celsius under the chairs at the there's a lot of zenning happening on White House lawn.
A lot of zenning going on. Even Taylor Lorenz seemed to have flipped.
So Taylor Lorenz in a sparkly mask, because she's quote unquote immunocompromised, was at the. I mean, look, if I had a press credential, I would have absolutely gone to DC just to see the. I mean, like Emily Sundberg went to like the party and was basically just like, yeah, this is insane. It's just like more blondes, less smoking, more drinking, and Dierks Bentley did a cover of Country Roads, Take Me Home. You know what I mean? It sounds insane.
Yeah.
But I don't.
I don't know if I could be in that room.
Oh, I definitely could be in that room. I could definitely be in that room. I think
I don't know how long I'd last.
That's the ultimate. I mean, it's no different than being in a Delta lounge, bro. If you want to keep it a stack. If you want to keep it a stack. But I
not true.
I do wonder if Taylor Lorenz, who always struck me as a bleeding heart, Fauci liberal, really did flip. I think she was just at the party.
Right.
I'm sure someone will let us know.
Yeah, and usually, like I remember during COVID when the mask thing happened, and then everyone would get upset when people would wear the mask, and it was clearly just cosmetically. They did not care about its ability to filter.
Yeah, it's like when DiCaprio leaves the club with a mask on. You're like, you're
like,
fine.
People will say like, oh, you gotta. There's like the scale. There's like if you got the like Cypress Hill gas mask while you're going to Ralph's, everyone's like, okay, guy, like you're in the car by yourself.
Sure.
If you are this immunocompromised, maybe you should be in a hospital right now. It's too risky to be outside. But then there is the people who are like, you're clearly wearing like a knitted mask that offers zero like my mommy crocheted it kind of thing, and like it would be funny for a photo shoot, but like
don't talk about my custom elder statesman cashmere mask. It looks great and it kept me warm.
Okay, good. Well, that's the problem, is those only are there to keep you warm, not to keep deadly viruses in and out of your ear, nose, mouth, etc. Pause, but then
I like how you didn't say throat. I like how you didn't say throat because you didn't want to pause, but you still paused. Interesting.
I didn't get the EGOT. I got the ego. But and then Taylor Lorenz would likely be the most, like, the first in line to badmouth or besmirch somebody who's only wearing the mask ceremonially or cosmetically. But she was wearing the sequin mask, and it reminded me of when everyone was up in arms, and then Lana Del Rey came out with the sequin mask, where you could clearly see her mouth and skin between it, like offering no protection, and then everyone was like, "Lana can do it. It's fine."
Yeah, of course Lana can do it. Lana eats dinner at 7-Eleven. She doesn't give a fuck. Like she doesn't give a fuck.
But we all were okay with it because she's beloved. And I don't think that Taylor would flip-flop so much that she would go straight. So I think
no.
Much like on an Adam Sandler movie, sequin mask, but it has N95 guts.
Oh, I know what you mean. It's fully custom.
It has the technology. It's like when I would put the Reebok pump. I would take the Reebok pump guts out of the tongue of my shoe and then put it into a different shoe.
I see.
Make a hybrid fusion.
Yeah, like that. That's what they do in Orange County. They put them on vans.
It's like when I pull up in Orange County with the Honda Civic and like, you don't know what I got under this hood, brother.
You don't want to know. I
got some blue tubes.
I don't know if you saw Melania's outfit. She was wearing a
Mortal Kombat looking hoe.
It looked like she was going to a Mortal Kombat funeral. But the Kim Kardashian posted the
worst part of my job as a gamer is when you got to go to a Mortal Kombat funeral.
Kim Kardashian
doesn't get easier.
Posted the photo on her Instagram story, and obviously Kim Kardashian is Trump support. I mean, obviously they're going to support Trump, but I think it was more of she ate down. This look is fire, but there was no context added, so she's getting absolutely destroyed.
You mean Kim is getting destroyed for saying Melania.
No, she merely posted the photo. There was no context, and I'm saying I think she did that on purpose to kind of leave it up to interpretation, even though it's clearly obviously Kim Kardashian is going to support the Trump administration.
Is it obvious? Why is it obvious? Known rascal Kim Kardashian. Why is it obvious?
Because Kim Kardashian does what she needs to do, whatever that is. You know, she does. She doesn't give a fuck about anything except making money, which is what you have to do. You have to do if you're her. What else?
She will go down with the ship. She will go up with the ship.
Yes.
She will. Okay, yeah. She will respectfully bounce on the ship if she has to.
If she has to. At one point, Kanye West was the ship. Now Donald Trump is the ship.
Okay, well then riddle me this. Her father, Caitlyn Jenner, who has now transitioned into a woman, identifying person.
Mother in two ways.
Yeah, yes, mothering and zothering and zaddy-ing. Trump, he mentioned two things during the speech. One of them saying we're going to, as soon as I'm in office, we're going to, all the EV, electric vehicle initiatives and blah, 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 that's out. We're going back to gasoline, liquid gold, blah, blah, blah. And then Elon's like, oh, that's not great. And then he also said it's two genders only. No trans, no non-binary. It's men and women. So now is Kim going to be like, this was awkward sauce because my dad is neither man nor woman, but a secret third thing?
I don't think she's thought about Caitlyn Jenner and first of all, this is one of the worst thing Trump has. Obviously, I think going back to gas is funny. I think the gender stuff is absolutely abysmal and terrible.
Yeah, because the only women I see on Twitter who like Trump are trans. So it's going to be a tough one.
Literally, what is he? He doesn't know what he's doing. But I think that I don't think Kim has thought about her father, mother in a very long time. Mm-hmm. I think once you cross Kim, you're it's like Chris Humphries. You're out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
She's been looking out for number one since she turned about 11, 12, 13.
Yeah, she doesn't give a fuck. I think she tried, and then I think that Caitlyn pushed it too far, and she's like, you're a liability to my income, and I have to cut you off. It ain't nothing to cut a bitch off.
She said you're either in or you're out.
Exactly. But yesterday it's really going to be a fun couple weeks where I feel like celebrities are going to kind of show their rear ends in one way or another. And I think that like reading that Nelly and Ashanti were fighting because he was performing for Trump. I'm like, I don't need to know this. Like, I don't give a fuck about these washed losers. I do not care. Like, how on earth are we supposed to care about this?
Yeah, well, I mean, Nelly and Ashanti sort of they've become a beloved,
of course,
example of love in hip hop.
Yeah, that's black love, and I respect that because Remy Ma and Papoose broke up. So this is kind of what we got. And
now us as Americans have to pick and choose between Remy Ma and Papoose. That's not easy. It's a real Sophie's choice. Both are underrated talents in their own right. But, you see Nelly and Ashanti. Nelly's got lots of money. He did well. He was making hits when you really made money.
You know how cheap it is to live in St. Louis? My God.
Live in St. Louis?
Yeah, it's no problem.
They've got multiple homes and he flies private and they got rollies and boat. Like life is going well. Did you have to get the $30,000 check or whatever it was to do this? And now you got a beautiful woman with a whole lot of ass holding it down at home.
You got thick Ashanti withholding.
Raising
crazy.
Your kids. She could hit the notes still. And now you've upset that all for what? So a bunch of white guys who look like lizards with like Monster Energy drink clothing and or like follow Roseanne on Blue Sky are going to be like, yeah, Nelly, you rule, man.
No, here's the thing. Here's the most fucked up part. His reasoning, he said, was because he doesn't care who's in the office. He respects the office so much. And I'm like, dude, you're not on the West Wing. No one respects the office. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, who gives a shit? Like, what on earth? How do you not know the optics of this are so bad that no matter how much you respect The Office, quote unquote. The only Office I respect is obviously Steve Carell, but I just can't believe that was his like public response. It just seems so like you're better off saying nothing.
Right. He's like, it's the American thing to do. It'd be like saying like, hey man, I'm gonna perform at this Hitler rally. It's the German thing to do.
We don't even have time. We'll get into Elon's salute with our guest. We do have a guest today. Very, very excited. We are going to talk with Roy Wood Jr. today. He's got a new special streaming on Hulu. It's called Lonely Flowers. He also hosts a CNN comedy panel show called Have I Got News for You that comes back February 15th. You might know him from his time on The Daily Show. Or his stand-up, which makes the rounds on Instagram, etc.
Or if you're my brother, you know him from his work on Neil Brennan's first podcast, The Champs. He would come on, and my brother was like, you got to talk to Roy about that old stuff.
One of the best podcasts of all time. I would say that's still one of the best podcasts of all time.
A tough premise to navigate nowadays, but yeah, we can get into all that. He can speak well about hoops. He can speak well about... He had a great Subway take. He's really cooking this week, and we're grateful for him to be on the show. Let's give him a call.
It looks like you're about to drink something now. Did you hit Hardee's before you came on?
No, this was good old Dunkin' Donuts. The orange straw, though, good guess.
I saw that Dunkin' Donuts actually is experiencing a donut shortage, but you were going just for coffee or a soda, so you're fine.
Fucking Hardee's, where are you? That's my childhood.
I'm from Atlanta. I know you're from the South. You know what time it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where I'm from, we call it Carl's Jr., okay?
That is an unfortunate space in the universe. And then you go to Jack in a Box instead.
No, I'm a Carl's man. I mean, I'm a Del Taco man, but that's a whole other. I'm actually a Bojangles man. If we really got to go down to it,
it took me forever to accept the concept of a fish taco when I moved to LA, and now I love them.
Really? Like fish and taco don't belong together was in your mind?
That never existed in Birmingham.
They didn't have that at Cookout.
Do you think it's there now? Do you think they've got it now?
Yeah, I'm sure some restaurant there now or whatever has fish tacos, but no, grew up in Birmingham, went to college in Tallahassee, never heard of fucking never. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I get to LA and what do you mean you never had a fish taco? Never.
Your ass is on Hillhurst, and they're serving you up.
Sir, you're like, what is this shit? Did you go to FAMU or FSU?
Yeah, I went to FAMU.
Okay, nice. I used to go to Tallahassee a lot, and we would often interact with FAMU students, not sexually, but just like we would see each other at the skating rink or whatever. You know,
you
what
would
I mean?
trade your wares with each other and so forth.
Yeah, exactly. We trade jerseys. We trade jerseys.
Okay, so Roy, you were on The View this morning.
Yes, today.
Okay,
talking the inauguration that I did not watch.
Oh, you did not watch it?
No.
Okay. Were they kind of counting on you to watch the inauguration and then have a bunch of comedic takes about it?
I think so. And I'm sure I let them down because they were like, what? They emailed us the night before. What selects? Does Roy have any clips that stand out? And I was like, I was at the Knicks game. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm not going to. I'm up on it. I caught all the highlights, but watching 8 hours straight, no.
Yeah.
Not this time.
No, I said that to Jay. I was like, I have a life. I can go on the internet and see the 5 parts that matter. I don't need to watch that much.
I could see Elon Sieg Heil from the front, back, and the side on Twitter whenever I need to.
Yeah, it's like I can go, like, if it's not policy, like, okay, he freed the Jan 6ers, and then he basically just came in and undid a bunch of Biden policies at his desk. Like, that's interesting to me, but he didn't put his hand on the Bible is taking away from my that wears on my mental fatigue that I need to pay attention to actual policy points.
I didn't realize he didn't put his hand on the Bible. I thought he was like fake religious. I don't understand.
Well, it wasn't a Trump Bible, so he probably didn't want to.
Smart. I guess I would demand my branded Bible.
Are you allowed to do that and not put your hand on the Bible? Isn't there somebody who's going to be like, You got to do it or all it doesn't count? Or is Trump above it all now?
I think he's above everything at this point, bro. It's the Gulf of America now. There are no rules.
No, there are no rules. I mean, he did sit down and sign a bunch of papers, so he's getting to it, as they say.
Yeah, I'm getting to it. Look at me getting shit done. What's that? Mount Denali? Wrong, bitch. Mount McKinley. Sign that. All these.
Yeah, I was getting some flashbacks of the build the wall and all the promises that he was making the first term, and everyone's like, "Oh, damn, it's going to happen." And this, he's doing the same exact thing to yesterday and today, and everyone is like, he's really going to actually build the wall this time. Like he's just going to build the world's biggest steel wall, and everyone believes it.
Okay, let him do it. Like at this point, let him do it. And then when there's still immigrants coming in, then you can go, yeah. You know what I think America is now? I don't know if you boys are up on the good old classic film, Con Air. Nicolas Cage,
Yeah,
starring as a prisoner getting hit at home.
Face Off in the Sky. It's a classic.
Yeah. And so near the end of the movie, when the prisoners have taken over the plane and the plane's about to crash, and you have Nicolas Cage heroically fighting to get to the controls in the cockpit, and then somewhere in the back of the plane, you have Steve Buscemi insanely laughing, neither helping crash the plane nor helping to save it. That is me right now when it comes to consuming a lot of all of this political discourse. I'm not saying that it doesn't matter, but I am saying the degree to which we must focus on all of it. Right, I choose to focus on all of it right now. No, I can't. No.
Luckily for me, I've never paid attention, so I'm not changing that now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gratitude exercise for being able to laugh at it from the back of the plane,
Yeah.
Buscemi style, I guess. But well, I watched your special last night. I want to go through some of it. I guess speaking of old forms of evil, you mentioned at least the Klan dressed kind of regally with some nice fabrics and patterns with their outfits compared to the militia guys nowadays with their bulletproof vests at Hardee's. And I was thinking about, we were talking on a previous episode about how bad it is now. 10, 15 years ago, George W. Bush was the worst person in the entire world. He was bombing and killing millions of people and doing irreparable damage forever. Now he's just a lovable old guy, and
I went and tore up Baghdad for no reason.
I mean, he did a lot of bad shit, but every president does a lot of bad shit. But at least now when you see George Bush, he has a look on his face where it's like, I'm a human being still, kind of, and I will crack jokes and I will show humanity versus Trump or whoever else is in office now, where you're like, oh, you're just a monster behind those eyes, you know?
I was like, I don't know. I always find it interesting the outfits that groups wear when they come to protests, both for and against an issue. And there was nothing in my mind that could make me, you cannot justify to me in 95-degree weather showing up armed in tactical gear to intimidate unarmed counter protesters and tell me that is efficient. Mm-hmm. I know you hot. That's all I want. I'm not here to argue with militias on why you are out there, militia, and you got a right, go on out there. But why wear that? The Klan already showed you. You can just wear a sheet. You ain't got to have on all these layers. It's not needed.
The Klan had a nice Tiva underneath there, breathable on the ankles and the toes.
I think we're forgetting about the Klan's kind of what they're spending on dry cleaning. It could get up there. It could, because those things are.
You don't want to get caught drying those out in the line, though. The neighbors might think something otherwise.
They catch on.
But I guess is there going to be a point when Trump becomes the lovable old guy? Like, I feel like OJ almost got there before he died. Like, he almost ran out the clock where everyone's like, OJ, he's just going to play golf, whatever.
Every time OJ almost did that, OJ would do something very OJ-ish and reset the clock on the laughability.
It's true.
Oh, that's just our little murderer. Like, Do I think Trump and Melania will have a cooking show on Netflix like Meghan Markle or some Barack Obama, Michelle Obama distribution deal? I don't think so. I think that Trump wants to always remain and be seen as powerful and cool and hip. And I think the moment that there's less pep in his step, we will just see less of him. I don't think he's just like Donald Trump's not gonna let you Jimmy Carter him.
Yeah,
And
we're not wheeling him out.
Right.
yeah, put the president out so he can get some sun. Barron, did you bring your father back in? No, Mom, I forgot. I don't think we get to that place.
As a hoops guy, what do you think about Barron?
I think he's a great stretch three, and I think if the right team can sign him, I think they got a chance to, go all the way. And if they lose, they can contest the results with the conference office.
Well, do you think because there's a lot of debate on what his NYU sex life is like, and I'm wondering if the kind of liberal daughters of LA film and TV producers are lining up to give it up to Barron because he's like he's still a celebrity on campus.
Celebrity. It doesn't matter if you're the son of a villain or the son of a hero. Someone's gonna be curious. She's gonna catch some small town dummy from Florissant, Missouri. No disrespect to Florissant. That's just the smallest town that came to my brain just then. And they're gonna do it just for the story alone. I love that also I also love that part of the discourse on Barron Trump is basically, is he old enough for us to hate him yet? It's almost like half of this country has just been waiting on the statutory limitations on attacking teenagers.
Right.
Because they're like, Barron keeps getting older and older. Like, well, he's the son, but because at first it was Barron's off limits. Don't talk about Barron. Don't talk about Barron. Now I'm starting to see little chirps here and there. Like, I didn't like his facial expression, which isn't an attack, but now it's, yeah, that kid. I bet you that kid is kind of an asshole, but you can't call him an asshole yet. So, we'll see.
Well, that reminds me of the subject of being an unk. And there were you've spoken about it, and there was recently like somebody released like, here's the golden rule of age, like this is when you're this age, you're an unk at this age, or an old head at this age, blah blah blah. Number one, at what age will you become an unk? And then number two, at what age will Barron? He's 20 now. When can he get the full clip? 25?
Yeah, I think 25, unless he started talking shit first. Like, it's one of those things where you don't punch a 20-year-old, but if you're at a bar and a 20-year-old starts punching you,
yeah, true.
Punch this 20-year-old.
I think 20 is old enough to get the smoke. I don't understand what the problem is. He's over 18.
Yeah, but we have to remember, ask yourselves as men, when did the stupid part of your brain get hard? Like, how long was your brain soft? Mine, I had soft brain to about 26.
33?
27.
Yeah, I might still be struggling with that now that you're putting me on the spot.
It's a medium
that
rare.
first pregnancy scare straightened me the fuck up. I was about 26. And I was like, okay, this is the real world. But yeah, I think 21. 21's fair. You can get a beer. You can get these hands. It's coming. It's coming. I just don't think it can be an adult.
Okay.
You need like another 20-year-old political whatever. Like, I don't know his name. Forgive me for not knowing his name, but there's a young Democratic kid that's like, he's like a pundit now, and he's
Are you talking about Jack Schlossberg, the Kennedy?
No, it's
relative?
a little black kid, and he's like,
Okay.
they interview him, and he talks all eloquent. Like, he should be on MSNBC, but the kid's like 10 or 11.
I've seen him.
And it's cute, and he's he's sharp, and whatever. That's who would have to go at Barron. You'd have to send him in like the kid that killed Omar on The Wire. So you never see it coming.
We got a 12-year-old in Mensa, and he's gonna chop Barron down.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
One of our foot soldiers in Mensa, he's going to do some dirt.
Yeah, those tough guys over there. They're gonna.
OG's not going to touch him. Okay, well, what age? I guess whenever unk status is put upon you, will you accept it, or do you think you're going to ride it out a few years past your unk expiration date?
No, I think whenever whenever they call me Unc, the old heads, I'm all for it. Noah DeBarrasso. That's the kid's name. Noah De.
Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
Nora de Blasio. Got it.
Yeah. Like when kids call me Unc, I'm fine. Like it doesn't drive me up the wall. I get what you're suggesting. There was a meme that went around a couple of weeks ago where it was essentially it essentially said you're an Unc until age 48 and then you become old head. And I'm like, wait a minute, motherfucker. Now I'm not an old head to 55. So I was looking at the meme and now I was like arguing that we need to widen the Unc window a little longer. Like, I don't think that's fair.
I agree.
I was actually under the impression that old head came before Unc, but I guess I'm sorry for my stupidity. I'm sorry.
No, because I've called people old heads at my age and I'm 46.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's good to know. I won't make that mistake again.
I've talked a lot about stealing from self checkout at Whole Foods. You got a bit about it. I've noticed that you have talked about how you don't like doing material that other people are doing. You pay attention to what other comedians are talking about, and you try to talk about anything but that, which is something.
Or go deeper into the thing that that we're both touching on.
Or go deeper. Are we going to be seeing more material related to that from you? Because there's in terms of like loneliness and lack of human connection.
We'll see. The thing I'm trying to focus on next is the relationship I had with my father and other men in my life after my father died. Just basically the lessons I learned from other men. So how I got my value system.
Did your father die when you were younger?
Yeah, he died when I was 16. So
okay.
There was a lot of soft brain years
left
ahead.
To develop.
Yeah. So, who were those people? What lessons did I learn? Some funny, some poignant, whatever. That's kind of where I want to go next, because I think that there's an idea that we all had this perfect childhood. But I think if you take a minute, take stock and look back at everyone that was in your life, you either learn something for the better or for the worse. But, I'll be honest, the material just kind of comes as it is in my brain. I can't control what I think. And it just so happened for this special, the more I looked at the pool of material that I put together, it was all drifting towards, so much so that I had 10 to 12 minutes about Democrats and about, elections and all of that shit. I was like, this is not the place for this. Put this up on CNN next time you're at CNN, or, go on Abby Phillip and say this thought.
There's another place for it.
Yeah, this special is not the place for that particular thing.
Okay. So do you like that style of every special should be like with a certain specific theme versus like, here's what I think about the 5 things popping off right now kind of thing?
That's where I'm drifting towards. I think that stand-up comedy that interests me, if you can, it doesn't have to be a single narrative or topic, but I find it to be more challenging, and I enjoy that. There's probably 2 people that have done something to that degree, or 3. I feel like Neil Brennan's most recent special accomplished that on Netflix, which was similar to his 3 mics thing. But, so Neil's already been doing that. Marlon Wayans did a Netflix special about the Chris Rock slap, but he spoke on it from the perspective of knowing Jada, Will, and Chris. And essentially, it's a guy on stage breaking down what's it like when your friends are fighting. And then Ali Sadiq, no one's doing it better than him right now, where he'll tell one story for an hour, and then that's the special. And the hilarity is all the digressions along the way to an actual punchline. I don't know. I just found that to be more interesting and fascinating, and I'm more like, because my previous 3 specials were all about what was happening to us. The Kaepernick national anthem, take a knee, and COVID and shots, and, whatever was in the mix. In this one, I was like, well, I just want to talk about what has happened to us as a result of all those things. Like that, I don't want to talk about like also politics ages too fast.
Hmm.
Yeah,
We
for
taped
sure.
in September. Imagine a special airing today, and I'm talking about they're eating the dogs and the cats.
Yeah, yeah.
That was 4 years ago.
Diddy hadn't even been popped yet, really.
Correct.
And you could have been up there like Diddy in the news, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
But nowadays it's just kind of like,
And that's the wrong place to be to me. So yeah.
yeah. But you do appreciate other comedians that will, like a Cat Williams or something like that, who will release a special every year, and it's touching on, little Diddy, little this, little that, and everyone's like, oh, I can't wait to hear what Cat has to say about XYZ.
Correct. But I think Cat has established a different relationship with us, the viewer, where we expect that type of unique journalistic analysis. We know Cat's take will be like no one else's
Yeah.
at all. Same with Dave Chappelle. Like, Dave may not necessarily spend the entire set under one theme, but you definitely know how he feels about something chunk by chunk.
Mm.
He's not just doing topical. Could you believe Melania didn't want to kiss him? The Gulf of America, man, this motherfucker. That's fine. Those are funny jokes. But in 5 years, does that stand up?
Right.
And I think the state of who we are as a people is much more of a longer lasting conversation that needs to be had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and I've heard you talk about, or I think it was on Fresh Air, about how, you consider yourself as a comedian to be like a form of journalism. And I was thinking about that this morning, about how great it is that you've been able to become a journalist that can also make a lot of money, because that's a thing that you can't really do nowadays. It's like
Jason, don't check this man's pockets on camera. Damn, bro, that's crazy.
Shit going okay. It's going okay. I ain't rich, but
It's going. I got one house. I got one car.
When's the last time you were in a Uber X or Comfort?
Oh, when I'm in a town that don't offer black.
That's the thing about doing stand-up. You'll go to some places that don't offer black.
Shit, I go home to Birmingham. They don't offer black, and that's where I live.
I thought there was some money. I thought there was some money in Birmingham.
There is, but not enough. If you drive an Uber Black, you just gonna set that shit to Uber X, so you can actually eat. There's a little bit of money.
We got Uber Black in Birmingham, but he's on lunch right now. So
Yeah, Birmingham is one of those cities where you'll cancel on an Uber because it's too far, and you gotta get another Uber. Wrong, bitch. Same Uber.
That's the one. That's all we got. There's one Kia Optima.
they always come back.
But he hit you with that Thanos. Where does that bring you? Back to me.
You live in LA. You don't live in Birmingham. You live in LA.
No, I'm in New York now. I was in LA for 8 years, and then when I got Daily Show in 2015, I moved out.
Okay, I got you. What do you prefer?
My friends are in LA. I miss my friends. Even though I've been in New York coming up on 10 years now. I miss my friends.
what city does your bank account prefer?
New York, taxes. Yeah, prefer that shit for real.
Yeah.
But the 10 years, I've been doing comedy 27 years. My 10 years in New York, I've done more in this 10 years than I did in the previous 15. Hell, the first 5 years in New York, I got more accomplished. If you are serious about the craft of comedy and you come here, you are going to get better. It's inevitable because you're just running with people that are more driven. And because I have a child, I need to keep drive because I need to keep revenue. So New York is just a better place. Like, if I had a gajillion billion dollars tomorrow, I don't think I would move to LA. One of the coolest stories is how Bernie Mac never lived in Los Angeles. He just had a condo there when they shot Bernie Mac show, and they would shoot like Monday through Thursday. And then Friday morning, he would fly out to whatever comedy show he had to do, and then maybe come back to LA or just go back to Chicago during the off weeks, but never owned property in Los Angeles proper.
Okay, Bernie. R.I.P. I mean, as a Los Angeles native, I'm a little offended by that. I feel like Bernie could have found some neighborhood.
That's
My bad.
That sounds like Bernie was making a choice. I feel like that's.
But
not
as a
even,
Bernie lover, I can't hate on anything that.
and that show was on for a long time.
Yeah, it was like 6 seasons
Yeah.
of just
Yeah, that show
running
was on for a
errands.
long time.
What would have been more impressive is if he'd have flown home to Chicago every night.
That's the coolest thing to do.
That's Jay Leno shit. Bernie Mac show was on UPN. He wasn't really getting that PJ money.
Well, it was Fox.
It was Fox.
It was Fox.
Okay,
It wasn't Homeboys in Outer Space.
Fox is just white UPN at that point. But
No, Fox was real. They had real money, but Girlfriends on UPN.
yeah.
Yes, Girlfriends was UPN. I didn't watch any of that. By then, I was out in them streets, man. I was discovering cheap alcohol and doing Rumplemint shots with strangers.
That's kind of what Girlfriends is about, though. So maybe you were living it.
Yeah, if you drink Rumplemans at the pool, that's an episode of Girlfriends.
Yeah, that's an episode. That's literally an episode of Girlfriends.
Well, you were mentioning Dave Chappelle. Did you watch his SNL monologue?
Yeah, I saw Dave on SNL. I thought it was great. Shit, I like Josh Johnson right now. He's doing a lot of dope shit. Tony Rock is funny. Takara, not that this is what you were asking me, shit, but I'm just saying, like,
That's okay.
I still am a fan of the craft of comedy. So, it's cool to see.
Yeah, I agree. It was cool to see him get I feel like he got like 15 or 20 minutes at SNL, and it's cool that they'll let him.
he was up there for a long time.
Yeah. Chappelle's is so good. And then like the next week, it's like just woman who's great actress. And then I'm just like wondering, well, what is she going to do?
She's gonna do one of those monologues where she sings while walking through the set. That's kind of the go-to.
Fine, please do that, but don't make her do stand-up, because it'll be like Chappelle, and then the next week it'll be like Natalie Portman, and it's like, all right, you're good, but what do we do with, like, what's the move here?
What's the move?
We were excited. Chappelle got a little fire in their ass, and now it's like Eli Manning, and then we're back to zero or negative.
All right, I'll check back next week. See who we got.
With all you mentioned Rumplemints drinking and partying when you're younger.
Schlager, all that.
Anything with speckles in it. You're putting it down.
Oh, I did the Schlager, baby. I did the gold Schlager. Did Aftershock have cinnamon flecks in it?
It may have.
I can't remember. No, yeah, my 20s were like, I started with the traditional gas station classics, Mad Dog 2020 and King Cobra, Schlitz Blue Bull. Once I got to deeper into college, we'd pay homeless people $20, give them a shopping list, and they'd come back with some Stoli vodka, some E&J,
The good stuff.
Erkin jerk.
Hypnotic. Yeah, those are the things that how pissed are the French? You gotta like. Sometimes I feel bad for French people, because it's like they have all of these things that were like supposed to be like these revered cognacs and products and shit, and
Cristal champagne.
and we just go, yeah, Cristal, pour it on the stripper. What the fuck? That is not what we were supposed to be doing with the Cristal. Let's send them something else. What about cognac? Yeah, Hennessy, nigga, put the Hennessy. Put it on the stripper. What? You're supposed to have that after.
Why are they wrapping bandanas around our bottles of fine cognac?
It's a fine cognac that you have after your meal. Why are they pouring it on the naked women? Fucking E&J, Erkenjerk, that shit is cheap. Like, what? No, because you drank too much of it. You're not. every French liquor.
And also with caviar.
Caviar's been ruined too.
Yeah.
We'll step on anything.
I don't think that most alcohol is good. I just think that most alcohol does a great job of telling a story and a narrative to create for the American consumer this feeling that you got something, it's mellowed and aged oak, and it's a story as classic as time with rich flavor. It's like, that's what you're paying for. It's a 15-year scotch. Maybe I just got a primitive ass palate, but if you put an 8-year scotch and a 15-year scotch, I can't tell the difference.
Well, you learn that lesson if you go to nightclubs or your friends work at nightclubs and they pour the Popov into the Stoli bottle and no one's the wiser. It's pretty clear what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. It's like that's the thing. Like, I wish they would do that with fucking regular beverages in this country. Like they never do that with fucking soft drinks and shit, and fucking Coca-Cola is aged. It's just
Aged Dr. Pepper. I have a 10-year Dr. Pepper.
You know,
Yeah.
I've thought about that with Coca-Cola. I wanted to invent a new Coke. There's the Diet Coke, there's the Mexican Coke where it's got real sugar in it, and then there's like the regular corn syrup Coke. But I want to invent like a Coke where it costs like $10. It's attainable, but it's way more expensive, and it's just the best ingredients that you can ever get. It's just the top
I
shelf
have an
Coca-Cola.
aged Coke in this house. I have a Coca-Cola from 1982 that's unopened. You know,
Not
one
a
of those
bad year.
commemorative. Yeah,
That might have real cocaine in it.
right. It might have some lead too, depending on what the bottle cap made of.
Why do you have?
So-
what do you? That's my birth year. Are you willing to unload this thing, or are you
It's-
saving it
hey,
for?
man, it's a Birmingham Barons commemorative ballpark, some whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Birmingham Barons.
Go Barons.
Birmingham Barons are the AAA baseball team.
Yeah, double A affiliate of the White Sox of Birmingham.
Double A. Sorry.
Home of Michael Jordan's 1 year of
Oh yes.
let me take a
of course.
break and come to Birmingham and hit a couple home runs, then go back to
Did
dunking
you
on
run? Did you
motherfuckers.
ever? Did you run into MJ during his year?
No, but I worked at a rehab hospital, and I worked at the rehab hospital where athletes would come for recovery.
Physical rehab, not drug and alcohol.
Correct. Well, yeah, that's specificity matters.
But you would give him drugs for the injury, though.
Yeah, I give him drugs. So, I mean, he would come through there from time to time. Like Birmingham is like a huge sports medicine, like that's like the Cape. It's
Oh, I
the
didn't know
Cape
that.
Canaveral of like knee and shoulder repairs, and Dr. James Andrews. Like, there's just a lot of sports medicine tech that happens there.
Yeah.
So at this hospital, I would run the food trays to the rooms from the cafeteria. So it wasn't uncommon to just fucking see Troy Aikman hobbling down the hall or Vlade Divac or somebody like that. So I know Jordan came through there once or twice, just doing like, because for whatever a real athlete need, like if you're an athlete for a professional team and you need the water treadmill, that ain't at the fucking Birmingham Barons practice facility. There's only one water treadmill in the state, my friend. And it's probably, oh, you need to sit in the cryo tub or whatever. Like, so all of that, like high tech sports recovery, that's the word I'm looking for.
You had that. You guys had that.
Yeah.
I saw an interview yesterday with Scottie Pippen where he was talking about
Oh, what do you say now?
he's just like Michael Jordan's just built different. Like he's an asshole. Like no one's his friend, you know. And I was kind of like, that is what it takes to be a champion, and that's why I'm not a champion.
Why don't we respect that?
I respect it. That's what I'm saying. I think it's cool.
I'm
Like I
the
don't want to be
best.
friends. I don't want to be friends with Scottie Pippen anyway.
I'd respect it more if Jordan was like an astrophysicist and he goes, I don't need your help figuring out this theory to figure out the parabola and the fucking orbital velocity, escape velocity needed to get this SpaceX Starlink nerd. Yeah, he could be an asshole. You put a ball in a hole and you inspire strangers to be better. That's good, but I don't know if that's get the fuck out my face good. But I've been around athletes. I've seen them be a piece of shit. Jordan was cool in Birmingham though. I don't think that there's anybody.
People liked him.
It would have come out by now, because if it's one thing Birmingham will do is they will tell you when a celebrity was an asshole, because we don't tolerate it. We don't tolerate anybody coming to town at high side and acting like they better than us just because they got more money. So if Michael Jordan had been terrible in Birmingham, I promise you, those stories would be flying like already. It'd have been a million blogs about that man at the time. Well, I guess back then it would have been a message board. Somebody would have been on an adult friend finder talking shit.
Well, speaking of adult friend finder, on your special, one thing I admired about it was you listed problems and you also listed some solutions, which a lot of comedians don't do. And bravo, good for you. Regarding that, one thing you didn't speak on, unless I'm mistaken, was pornography's effect on loneliness. And I wanted to see if you had any takes on that.
I didn't. So I had a part about. So in the special, I talk about getting invited to a sex party and the idea that, oh, that's ridiculous. But then when you really look at it deeper, it's just someone seeking connection. And at least they were trying, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
the idea of porn I started going down a winding road of how to unpack that because, like, one, porn is super accessible, and then two, can you blame people jacking off because the porn's getting good? Like, these fucking sex dolls are
Mm-hmm.
a little more interactive. And then they got the custom vaginas. Like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that women were just making molds of their pussy and then selling them in a sex shop. Like, I thought it was like just, this is the coochie. And then maybe
This is someone's coochie. This is a
like-
real human being's coochie.
No, this is my coochie,
yeah, I just thought you just buy
and it's installed in the bottom of a foot.
and then there's a pump and you can adjust tightness
Right.
like a blood pressure machine in the back of a Walgreens where like, I thought that's what I think the issue with porn is that it creates a complete and total disassociation with the idea of just meeting girls and meeting women and just trying to be functional. However, and this is why I didn't get into porn within the special, was how much of that incel behavior, which leads to a lot of shootings, right? You know, this guy didn't get laid, and maybe that's why he murdered.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that behavior is curbed because of porn?
Mm.
And then, and I think it's not possible. I don't think you can talk about porn culture without talking about gaming culture, because I think most people that fuck with porn in some basement, you probably also do other things on your computer
Mm-hmm.
that keep you isolated. So it just, I don't know, it kind of dovetailed into a conversation about more computers. It's like you can jack off, you can be in another world. I was on that VR headset shit in the metaverse. Remember the metaverse a couple of years ago? Remember they said that was going to be the thing? The metaverse is coming. Put all your TV shows in the
Are
metaverse.
you saying you had the Apple goggles?
No, I didn't. But
It
I
was a
did
Facebook shit.
have the Google. Yeah, I had the.
Oh, the Google. I'm sorry.
Before Zuck got on testosterone, this was a big thing for him.
It's crazy. That's all you have to do to impress the president is just learn karate. Like, Joe Rogan talks about karate. All right, Joe Rogan, whatever you want. I'll come on your podcast. That's what I'm going to do.
You're looking good, bro. You're looking swole. Neck's looking good.
You got a nice neck, man. Your neck is fucking pretty fucking thick. Oh, really? Thank you.
It's crazy they can do that for 3 hours at a time too.
Chris, we were talking about the Elon Sieg Heil.
Yeah, we can't. Do you think he was really doing the salute, or do you think he's just autistic? That's the argument.
What's the difference?
Yeah, Nazi or autistic?
Great question.
Why
Great
can't you be
question.
both?
I think that autistic, that term is thrown around now so loosely that no one knows what it means, and I think Nazi is thrown around and it's bad. I don't know if Elon Musk is a Nazi or an idiot. You know what I mean? That's the question.
Yeah, I think it's more the latter. I don't think he is for himself. Even to be a Nazi, you got to agree with a cause.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh-huh.
So he's like, I can't align with any of that shit. I have to be me first.
But if I do this stupid hand thing to get these people who really love it to get on board, then like Elon doing that Nazi hand thing is the equivalent of when some performer comes to your city and wears a sweater of the local college. You think they give a fuck about this University of Texas? I don't. But I'm in Austin.
When Bad Bunny holds the German flag when he's playing in Berlin, and everyone's like, "Holy shit!"
All the musicians do that shit. They come on stage in a hat that is, ingratiates them to the people. So I think it's more that than the other.
But he's trying to ingratiate himself instead of the American people, but specifically like the people on 4chan who are going to be like, "Oh, that Nazi stuff is cool.
Correct. I mean, he normalizes it, and I just think like calling him autistic, it doesn't change that he's calling shots. So you best go learn about autism and how you can effectively. If I'm a Democrat, you better learn how to effectively. If you believe he is autistic, then you should go learn how to effectively fucking communicate with autistic people, and then figure out where he is on the scale of autism. Because I mean, if he's autistic enough, then with Elon, you might just be able to throw some Skittles on the ground, and you just got to stop and sort the colors. And maybe that's how you keep Elon. And I'm saying this with respect to autistic
We've been
people.
fucking up the whole time. It could be that easy.
I say this with respect to autistic people. I'm just saying, if the man's autistic, let's figure out how autistic. He's not going to tell you. You're not going to get his medical record. So y'all just got to put toothpicks on the ground, see if he count them shits. And
fight fire with fire.
But how long do you think the relationship with him and Trump is going to last? Because they're definitely going to have a falling out.
I think the Trump relationship with Elon boils down to the longevity and viability of NASA's role in the next generation of the space race. They talk about cutting funding to NASA, and if they cut a lot of the research and they shut down a lot of those laboratories, then Elon is in a position where he is the only next best option for the government to work with. And now you could essentially auction SpaceX to the highest bidding country. Never forget, Elon's not an American. He's made his bread in America, but I don't believe him to have the pre-installed software that ingratiates him to a truly America first approach to capitalism. You know what I'm saying? So if Elon can effectively get the Trump administration to defund NASA and put SpaceX at the forefront, let's just fuck the conflict of interest that what I'm talking about is. It's going to happen. If SpaceX is running point on the evolution of space exploration in this country, you cannot get rid of Elon at that point. You can try and put him off in the shed, but like, in public schools, they have them double wides out next to the school. You can put him out in one of those and try and keep him out of trouble, but you're not going to Vivek Ramaswamy Elon.
Yeah.
And sneak him out the door on the low.
No, you're not.
That's
Elon
true.
makes too much noise, and he controls the platform that gives you access to the voters and the ability to disinform.
He's too important. The egos aside, he's just too important. They've got to make concessions and keep him around.
Yeah, this ain't no Trump versus Scaramucci type shit.
Yeah, sure.
Like this isn't Trump going back and forth with all of the people that he's had to fire and let go, and Mick Mulvaney, you get out of here, you're fired, I don't like you anymore.
He's become a tumor that's too dangerous to surgically remove from America.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. Not yet, but as it starts going, and I think other dominoes will fall. But, if Elon, how can I put it? You ever had a homeboy that dated a girl that you didn't approve of? And the homeboy is either going to lose all of his friends and only be left with the girl, or sooner or later get rid of the girl. And I think that's what we're looking at with Elon. And because eventually it's going to be Doge versus some of the other cabinet positions. Because if the job of Doge is to eliminate overspending, sooner or later he's going to start meddling in other people's budgets. And when you start meddling in other people's budgets, you fucking with the church's money, bro. Because we over here wasting money, and some of that money's going in certain people's pockets. And these offices are also charged by the lobbyists who represent the corporations. This office has certain objectives that need to happen under the table. And if you cut our funding, you are cutting the ability for these corporations to do whatever the fuck they already been doing under the table. And that'll get you off real fucking fast because you're fucking with people's money. And so I don't think Elon is above that. I don't know, man. I just really hope that like I'm not gonna hit the despair drum, to bring it back to Chappelle's monologue. Just know that there's a lot of people counting on you, and hope that the people that Trump has appointed have the best interests of this country in mind. I don't think Elon Musk has properly exhibited that intention as of yet, but he did get Ramaswamy to shut the fuck up for a couple weeks. So
we take a dub when we can. We take a dub when we can.
Maybe Doge is working.
Yeah.
This goes back to my hatred of space exploration, and if we just do away with it completely, this seems like that would save us a lot of problems, and I don't understand what we're still doing out there.
Yeah, that would nip it in the bud.
Yeah, Roy.
Yeah, what if all of America came together and they're like,
who cares?
We don't care about space anymore.
Who cares?
Go to Mars and do what?
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
always been a question.
That's what I'm saying.
But
I've seen Total Recall. It don't look fun.
Yeah, but then motherfuckers go, well, we got to figure it out because that's the next place we're going.
I'm good.
I ain't going.
Your apartment, hun. Also, I know you're not going to let no black people go. So I really don't give a fuck.
Or we're going to let all the black people go. It's one way or another.
Good news, Mexicans. Your deportation rocket is here.
We got a plan. It's a tremendous plan.
Yeah.
Only white people are allowed on Earth.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, Roy, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. The new special on Hulu is great. So your Subway take was also very good. Kareem's a friend of ours who did the show a little while ago.
Oh, yeah. Bring fighting back to the NBA, please.
And you're coming. Your CNN show's back at what on
February 15th, Have I Got News for You, Season 2. Saturdays at 9 on CNN and Max.
Wow, we got season 2. That's good news.
Yeah. We need more good news.
All right, Roy, thank you so much. We appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, bro. We'll see you soon.
Thank y'all.
If you gotta roll it, then hold it up. If you ain't gotta roll it, then step it up. But if you gotta roll it, then keep it up. Then hold your rollie up. Hold your rollie up. If you gotta roll it, then hold it up. If you ain't gotta roll it, then step it up. If you gotta roll it, then